one hit on it and
trying to put pressure in that top lane, taking away that tier 1 tower as fast as possible. Be able to contest that, it means they have to bring Moon out.
he's difficult to take down. Morphling can go ham in these fights.
We're going to have just a lot of really big sustain from OG between the Dragonite, the Beastmaster, and the Morphling. Rather tanky cores across the board. And then you have these two ultra-defensive supports in both the Wisp as well as the Dazzle. It's going to be a hard way for MVP Phoenix to actually cut through these heroes when it comes to team fights.
If one hero falls, though, with Cole, I think everyone else is going to fall. And Graven's not particularly great.
Yeah, that's true. Forev, obviously, with the big counter. They are going to pop the ultimate here. No Tail trying to go for QL, but it's now going to be surrounded by 3 heroes. That 4th comes in as Dubu's going to throw out the paralyzing pass, but here comes those 2 defensive supports. Forev, he does have that level 6, so even if they manage to get off the Shallow Grave, it's not going to matter, but the Culling Blade, it's just not quite enough. Now they throw out the Shallow Grave, and damn, I bet Forev misses that Culling Blade now as QO needs to be healed up by Dubu. Runs out of mana, though, and QO may just get run down, kicked to death by Moon. Barely able to stay out. Meanwhile, MP gets the spin on the fly, knows he's dead, and just accepts his fate. Finally, the kill being picked up by Crit for first blood, but Witch Doctor manages to secure the counter onto Dazzle.
Yeah, MVP not really on the same page there. You can just straight right-click people down.
Always an excuse with Ben. He says that Miracle game was on his Smurf account, apparently.
I remember that. One of ROTK's many missed Chronospheres.
Merlini always keeping track of ROTK's failures. 1-1, pretty slow static laning phase so far, even though we saw that action in mid. Both teams backing out to their safe lanes and continue to farm away.
Yesterday I was talking to one of the Chinese casters called Swindle the American ROTK.
Oh, I bet you enjoyed that one quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, we need Jack to tell us the gossip on the Chinese scene.
Still trying to do this sort of dual lane scenario against QO. Probably the most explosive player. Oh, and Forev in some serious trouble. Miracle doesn't have a waveform for another 3 more seconds, so it looks like Forev does have the movement speed to get out. The Battle Hunker keeping Miracle slowed down just enough that he can catch him with the second waveform. Meanwhile, QO is playing a rather dangerous game. He's going to come forward, tries to go on fly. He's low enough, another right click, almost finished him off, but they still managed to get the kill on the Dazzle. The Boars, though, get the kill for Moon instead. Not worth the trade-off. As MVP Phoenix, QO is perhaps just a little bit frustrated with the laning phase and how he's being shut out by OG.
It's really difficult for these melee heroes to go onto the Dazzle. He got QO so low due to the level 2 healing wave on the Dazzle. They have the summons, some from the Beastmaster.
To the top lane, Forev is going to be able to keep him slowed down with the Battle Hunger, but it looks like No Tail turns around, managed to get the stun. MP going to try and pursue still, but we have the Dazzle right behind him, and Juggernaut out of mana for the Omni Slash.
And Crit is just 1 stack away from getting level 6, and as soon as Miracle joins these fights, I think MVP's in a lot of trouble. Track not maybe like 3 or 4 minutes out from being skilled on Bounty Hunter. He's level 4.5, just got scouted with the Sentry Ward in between the T1 and the T2.
Febby is going to sit on top of Moon. Moon obviously does know about Febby's rotation, so this shouldn't really be a problem for him. It just seems like OG have really managed to create a strategy that slows down the game so much that MVP Phoenix aren't able to use their signature aggression to get the normal laning phase lead that they want.
And I think OG realized that it's very difficult to beat MVP at that sort of game.
A tier 1 tower is finally going to go down in the bottom lane. Miracle picks that one up, speeding up his, what I can only presume is the Lincolns required this game. You've got Omni Slash, maybe Paralyzing Cast. Oh, jump on mid. QO going to die again as Moonmeander manages to make the initiation there alongside No-Tail. And the relocate is just easy follow-up. Now they've got 3 different heroes, all cores here ready to beat down that tier 1 tower, and MVP Phoenix not in a position to defend really. It looks like they're still going to try and collide here, but QO is still another 12 seconds out.
And Miracle hits really hard right now. 119 damage, combine that with Inner Beast and Overcharge.
Debbie trying to get the deny. Meanwhile, MVP Phoenix coming in for the side. They're going to go and start going on crit, but Miracle is going to challenge Dubu here. The right click are almost enough to finish him off, but he managed to get a fairy fire. Meanwhile, crit. Oh, and he'll actually manage to stop the Culling Blade. And again, that movement speed might be critical as MVP Phoenix are not able to get themselves, extricate themselves out of that team fight. That'll be Axe going down first. The Witch Doctor almost cleaned up. Vebi almost going down as well as the Flame Breath almost finishes him off there. QO not being there for the fight, obviously, because he was dead, but MVP Phoenix still trying to force that one. Seems like a bit of an error on their part as OG proved to be just a bit too strong.
They really need some sort of jump, either QO being farmed, maybe Axe getting a Blink Dagger, but MVP, they seem a little bit lost without the skirmish advantage. OG have the mobility advantage with the IO. They have the vision advantage with the Beastmaster, and he's just not able to search for the fights that they're looking for. Uncontested.
They're going to get another tier 1 tower to make that lead even larger as OG can rather easily still rotate to bottom lane and defend. Miracle, who's already got a replicate out, so he can jump over to that one. The call is going to lead the way, though. They are going to get a lot of damage onto Miracle. He's ready to jump out in a second and should be able to escape. Meanwhile, the rest of OG using that time where MVP Phoenix were trying to go on Miracle to push down the tier 2 at top lane.
And Miracle doesn't have any items right now, but he is nigh impossible for MVP to kill. Track move speed simply not going to be enough, just lacking any sort of damage. I think they only got like 500 damage on him at that point, and he salved up, he's back to full HP.
And OG going to keep going, forcing the TPs out from MVP Phoenix. QO is going to be the first one, actually gets burned out of mana there from the Necronomicon, and can't continue to fight even as the rest of his allies start coming in. And P just takes the consolation prize in the little Necronomicon warrior. But
and a Vanguard, he's really committing to the fighting build. He's going to fall way behind Morphling with this build, I think.
Yeah, he really is, especially since, I mean, it's 13.5 minutes. We've only seen 9 kills so far. Unless somehow MVP Phoenix managed to force OG to fight a lot, it seems like OG can read these. Stay away from MVP Phoenix and naturally get a farm advantage from that.
MVP's getting close. Be the word go.
MVP Phoenix are going to need to get a lot done during that small window of time, though, as OG racking up even their lower cores like the Beastmaster and Dragon Knight. are about to contest the Juggernaut. They're going to jump here on a replicate, blowing everything they had. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, actually centering up, here comes the relocate. They're going to jump on an MP. They managed to get the Primal Roar. The spin, not enough, and Jesus. That Shadow Wave from Fly manages to help OG burst down the Juggernaut so quickly.
And an invisible no-tail set that kill up, and the siege continues.
MVP Phoenix, particularly with one hero down and a Bounty Hunter on their side, have nothing to be able to defend against these tower pushes when there's 4 or 5 heroes grouped up together like this.
And maybe 2 defensive supports is the key to slowing down MVP's pace.
MVP Phoenix, knowing they can't really do much at this point, continue to try and farm up on QO as he pushes out the bottom lane. Does have those boots of travel ready to go, but it's not going to be enough by itself, that's certainly for sure.
And that should be the Blink Dagger reveal. Axis farming mid, and OG will definitely know that he has it.
Even Forev is going to be quite squishy as he doesn't have a Vanguard himself, obviously needing to speed up that initiating item. Couldn't go for the Vanguard or anything like that, so even if he does manage to get the right kind of jump, he may still get bursted down relatively quickly.
And a very early gem pickup coming out from Crit.
I like this. OG have a very clear advantage, and they'll just be able to build on it if they can keep this gem in their hands. Meanwhile, MVP Phoenix need to be able to go for this smoke up, but it
scouted out by the Hawk.
Yeah, the pings already came out, and the Hawk scouted that one away. Looks like they're going to go for yet another replicate bait here, as they move the replicate into the river. MVP Phoenix scouting it here.
And that is a farm
jump on Forev.
Beastmaster.
Oh, Miracle himself actually jumps over to it, trying to pick up the Matter Root, but this should be perfect. Miracle almost gets bursted down immediately, starts morphing strength though, and now the rest of OG able to surround their carry and push back against MVP Phoenix, getting the initiation, and now the push uphill. Perez stuck on the cliff, he's going to try and make his way back down. Blinks in, manages to get the call, but just can't get the damage done as the rest of his team is being pushed back by No-Tail. Now Forev is going to get stunned up by Miracle, rather large stun at that. QO gets the chains, creates the space for Perez to be able to get the blink out, and MVP Phoenix should be able to escape with no further losses, but considering that was a smoke gank that turned awry, losing the Bounty Hunter, it's not a good sign for MVP Phoenix.
They committed Omni Slash, they committed a Death Ward, and he still had 1,000 HP, and that was before like a heal came out from Dazzle and IO came in to rescue him from that gank.
Part of it is the Witch Doctor, Dubu actually choosing not to go for any levels of Maledict, and this is one of the abilities that the Witch Doctor is supposed to have to help cut through these tankier heroes like the Morphling, but he got the early Voodoo Restoration, which we saw was actually rather necessary, but because MVP Phoenix weren't winning fights, he has had no level progression since.
And there's no way they can stop him from morphing.
Yep. They need some way to be able to burst him down a bit faster, but that's just not going to happen with the Lincoln's complete on Miracle, and now we can start moving forward.
Febby runs into Moon. Moon just kind of like, oh, hey there.
All right. Febby keeps on trucking. Runs hard left here and looks for the TP out. Is he going to make it out? Moon, Primal Roar, ready to go. Oh, almost. Must not have been paying attention to his screen, as that gem should have given him the free kill. MVP Phoenix at least know about this gem pickup now and will play accordingly.
Ooh, a very dangerous pickup from Dragon Knight with the blink. You can get that instant stun onto Ember Spirit, onto Juggernaut before he can spin, and a couple of dead heroes. And it's also a really good setup for the relocate from Crit.
OG, they can definitely continue to play defensive if they want, but they're actually going to go for what is essentially a 5-man smoke. They've got the replicate of the Morphling joining them in this smoke, while Morphling himself pushes out bottom. This allows OG to perhaps get the surprise jump on MVP Phoenix. There it is, the Blink Dagger reveal on the QO. Follow up, Primal Roar to make sure there's no hope of QO being able to get out. And OG, now with their positioning, will push high ground and challenge MVP Phoenix to defend.
And where's their anti-push?
Absolutely nothing
on this.
He's supposed to jump into a Morphling and a Dragon Knight who are tanky as hell and get burned away by the Necronomicon. He doesn't really have a hope of cutting through those heroes, and he's just going to end up losing a lot of HP and mana in the process.
And now Ember Spirit has to feel very worried.
Oh, they managed to get a call on No-Tail, pulling him back into the Tier 3 area, but there are no disables whatsoever. to keep him in that position, and Miracle's just gonna right-click that tier 3 down with his agility morph.
And there's very little spam from them. They can't clear the creep wave at all, and they can't get Dragon Knight low to the point where he's forced to retreat. They just kind of took a T3 for free. Maybe once Ember Spirit gets Battle Fury, they can start doing some damage. Maybe once Witch Doctor gets those points of Maledicts that you were talking about. But as of right now, MVT
first one too, and my argument was that MVP Phoenix is one of the few teams that can actually make the Bounty Hunter one Dazzle sitting behind No-Tail now.
looks like both teams will probably have a hero dedicated to jungle / stacking. We see 4Ev not even bother
Trying to put pressure. Warning signal to MVP Phoenix. They may still get caught here though, as the jump in, Dragon Tail leading the way. They managed to get the call counter, but still Miracle's going to be able to pop duo nonetheless. And Forev, again, just not tanky enough to be able to survive the onslaught of 5 different heroes. And now OG, they go straight for the throat, trying to take out the melee racks before the 25-minute marker. And they will take it indeed. MVP Phoenix not able to provide a response just yet. They're trying to slow this push down as best as they can. The Necronomicons, OG playing this very disciplined and very safe. Even though there's still no QO for MVP Phoenix.
You say that and there's that 5 strength Morphling.
They gotta go back in. Maybe they were perhaps a little bit afraid of a buyback there. The Ember Spirit, they know they're well in control of this game and don't want to do anything that puts that at risk.
Yeah, they can just take out Roche. Morphling just does incredible amounts of right-click damage. They're struggling to build damage, but by the time they complete damage items, they'll need defensive items to deal with the Morphling right-click. And there's no way they can lock him down in fights. they have the Manta style, even if they lock down his main hero, he'll still output a lot of damage with those illusions, and replicate on either Axe or Juggernaut will still be pretty huge.
MVP Phoenix, no, they can't just farm away. They need to get aggressive and see if they can actually get a track kill. And if they win a fight like this, they can actually turn it into a fast Roshan. But
Scan just came up for Radiant, but
MVP
already
Phoenix,
suspecting what's happening.
They're going a long way around here. And this may actually catch OG off guard all the way behind the tier 2, perhaps. They back away, and QO gives up all chase. He's going to head out to bottom lane. And Miracle reveals that the Ember Spirit was just here, leaving a remnant behind.
And I don't think that ward's going to last long. Very
Certainly
common
not.
move. Smoke into the opponent jungle, try and ward it up and get a pick later.
Moon. Quick Iron Talon takes that vision away from MVP Phoenix, and they're left with nothing on the map now.
And then a Hawk into the pit to even address that potential issue.
Yeah, just in case, as OG retreated. Shuriken and Track not going to last long as Miracle